Let's going to get into the proceeding this evening. And obviously, we got a little bit of bad news today. Yesterday, I was going to go live during this. We had a fourth or a fifth attempt on allegedly on President Trump's life. And at this point, this is kind of getting ridiculous. Let's tune in to Fox News here, and let's hear the latest on this. I think this is the latest on what happened on the assassination attempt or whatever he was trying to do at the White House on President Trump. Take a look.
Now let's go to Madeline Rivera in Washington on the shooting outside the White House yesterday. Matt, what can you tell us?
Hi, good morning, guys. This happened around 6 p.m. local time. So for those that don't know, that's usually around the time that correspondents at the White House are preparing for their evening live shots. So many of them actually heard the shots, and some of them scrambled to the ground for cover. The White House was placed on lockdown for nearly an hour. The Secret Service spokesperson says a person came to the checkpoint near 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue, and per their preliminary investigation, they say as the man walked up, he took a gun from his bag and began firing at officers. The Secret Service, they shot back and hit the suspect, who later died at a local hospital. Multiple sources now tell Fox News Digital the suspect was identified as 21-year-old Nazir Best from Maryland. Best allegedly had multiple run-ins with the Secret Service and had a history of mental health issues. He was reportedly detained by Secret Service on June 26 last year for flagging down agents and making threats, and again the next month for entering a restricted area. President Trump was at the White House when this happened, but he was not affected. The president later reacting onto social, saying this: "Thank you to our great Secret Service and law enforcement for the swift and professional action taken this evening against a gunman near the White House who had a violent history and possible obsession with our country's most cherished sector. The gunman is dead after an exchange of gunfire with Secret Service agents near the White House gates." This event is 1 month removed from the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting and goes to show how important it is for all future presidents to get what will be the most safe and secure space of its kind ever built in Washington, D.C. The president there appearing to report to the White House ballroom. White House aide Stephen Chung says the president continued working through the evening, posting, "It's 9:30 p.m. on a Saturday night, and President Trump is still in the Oval Office working hard for the American people. He's simply one of one." The Secret Service says a bystander was shot during the incident, but it's unclear whether they were initially hit by the suspect or during the crossfire. Charlie, Rachel, and Grant.
Thank you, Maddie. With that, let's bring in retired Secret Service agent Jeff James, joins us now. Thank you for joining us this morning, Jeff. Based on what the information that we have right now, and there have been a number of run-ins with this suspect over the past year and a half, do we think that the obsession of this shooter, this gunman, had to do with President Trump specifically, or just the presidency and the White House? Is there anything that gives us any indication about that?
Nothing initially, but that'll be figured out. And in my career, I did 2 years as an intelligence specialist in our intelligence division. And we would see that. We would see people who were obsessed with the presidency, period, not just one person. That goes all the way back to John Hinckley. John Hinckley actually had plans to shoot President Ford before he eventually shot President Reagan. So it wouldn't be unusual to see an obsession with the White House and the presidency as a whole rather than one president.
So, Jeff, let me ask you what you make of when we look at the actual location, which I believe is 17th in Pennsylvania, where the gunman was able to at least get to and fire off shots. What do you make of where this occurred? And does it call for even more hardened security around the White House by Secret Service?
Well, the first thing I want to point out is that, the security measures work. This person didn't get inside the perimeter. He shot through the fence. The fence line from the north portico, you have about 70 yards to Pennsylvania Avenue, and then this was down on the corner. So you're a good couple hundred yards away from the White House itself by the time you get to 17th Street. We can't continue. If we tried to move the cordon out any farther at that point, we're starting to encompass businesses, which really lends itself to less security when you encompass a place where more people have to come and go. So the perimeter, the 18 acres that the White House covers, the perimeters are literally pushed out as far as they can go right in the center of D.C. there.
All right.
Jeff James, thank you for joining us and for all those details. Appreciate it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on.
There you have it, guys. I like the names added to the pics. Yes. So, I don't know if that was the fourth or fifth attempt on President Trump. We don't even know if it was an attempt on President Trump. Trent, what do you think about this whole situation, man?
Honestly, I'm just getting numb to it. I mean, the security's obviously working. They've stepped their game up to the point where these aren't getting close anymore. Everybody's doing their job. So honestly, it's just more of mental health issues where people are just obsessed. I mean, like they've said, people get obsessed stalker wise, and these psychos happen. Could have been anyone.
Yeah. What you think, Backpacker?
Well, first of all, you can't fix stupid. So that's first and foremost. This just goes to show, and I don't necessarily inherently, and don't take this the wrong way. I don't think it's a bad thing, because this just goes to show what we're dealing with at this current time. Okay, we had the JFK. Okay, we had these other assassination attempts years ago. Okay, and that was big news. Now it's becoming so normalized. Okay, like we've all discussed, that it's just we're numb to it. But now that does not take away the fact that they're going to sit here and try to hold on to this whole, oh, he was mentally ill, he's mentally sick. So that gives them some green light, and anybody else green light to just go do whatever they want to do because they're mentally ill, right? The second thing is this is a black man. Okay, let's not forget this. Okay, it's not a white guy. So it doesn't fit their narrative too much. If this was a white guy, we're running with it. We're going to throw everything at the wall. Boom, 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 and see what sticks, right? But because it's a black man, we're going to try to say, oh, he needed help. Okay? So I don't buy that. The thing is, too, if anybody in their right mind, it has their mind set on something, White House or not, president or not, if they say they're going to go execute a plan or a mission, that's going to happen. Now, is it going to be successful? How much damage is going to be done? Could it have been mitigated? Okay, we've got all those talking points. This is not going to stop, especially while Trump is in office. Because the thing is this, guys, Trump has shaken the nest. He's disrupting the plans, okay? And the reality is a lot of people just don't like him. They didn't do it to Obama. They didn't do it to Biden, right? But Trump's in here, and he's disturbing the plans. So I have to call this this is an individual who just doesn't like what's going on in the country. And no, call it for what it is. He doesn't like what Trump's doing. Okay. He can't use his voice. He's been in trouble multiple times. Okay. And quite frankly, even if they arrested him, was he going to get prosecuted anyways?
That was my thing. I was like, why didn't they just throw him in jail the first 2 times he tried to get into the White House?
Because we don't believe in prosecution in this country.
Well said, sir. Hug a thug.
Yeah.
The hug a thug policies. And let me just say this, man. And everything you just said was spot on. And I'm going to do my best not to go off here. But I'm going to tell you like this. I guarantee you, and I have not watched it, and we're about to watch it in a second. I guarantee you, MS, DNC, MS Now, BS Now, because I'm going to play it. I guarantee you they didn't say he was black. And if they did say he's black, like you said, they're going to say he's mentally ill. They got to play the narrative game, right? I am so sick and tired of people telling me that one side and the other side is the same, okay? It's just objectively not true. Most of, not all, but most of the violence is coming from one side. Okay, and I'm going to try to watch myself because I don't want us to get in trouble on this channel. But I will say this. Okay, how can I say this?
It's hard, bro. It's hard. I know.
Let me say this, okay? The people on that side, the cabal needs to be stopped. Okay, whoever is funding this stuff, it has to stop. It just has to. Trent said it best. He goes, "I'm getting numb to it." How can we get numb to somebody trying to kill our president every other month or once a month or whatever? Now it's getting ridiculous. We cannot normalize this, right? Charlie Kirk is dead because he exercised his speech. Charlie Kirk is dead because he exercises free speech. This is what this country is supposed to be about. That is the First Amendment in our Constitution, is free speech. And he got executed for it because they didn't like his speech. And I blame the media for this. You know, I sometimes I feel sorry for the people that are, and I'm not saying he's not mentally ill. He probably is a little bit. But people that are weak-minded like this and sheep and just believe anything they tell you to go this far, because again, it's not if you sat these people down, these people on that side, and asked them what are you doing this for and blah blah blah. They're not going to tell you because you're not going to get this thing that they're evil people, right? They're not evil. They truly believe they're eradicating an evil person and an evil agenda. It's like saying we need to take out Hitler and what they used to talk about Hitler. So, and where does that come from? That comes from the media, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play MSDNC or BS Now real quick. And I just want to see what these people are going to say. And sorry, guys, I know. But I just want to see what they have to say about this. Take a look.
Welcome back, everyone. We continue to follow the breaking news out of Washington, D.C. It is 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're getting some new details about the shooting that took place on the corner of 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue at about 6 p.m. Eastern time. Let's cross over now to our senior law enforcement.
Let me just say this. Let me make sure before I say this. I looked up the video on the White House, and let me see if this is the last one. Trump says, okay, Trump U.S. deal. Okay, they're not even talking about it. Like the president was allegedly almost assassinated, and they're not even talking about it today. Shooting gunmen. Okay, let's see this one. Neither way. Okay, this is 8 hours ago. Let's see this one.
We begin this morning with the latest on last night's shooting near the White House. Secret Service agents shot and killed a gunman who opened fire near a security checkpoint. The shooting happened shortly after 6 p.m. at 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, just a few hundred feet from the White House. President Trump was there at the time, but was, quote, not impacted. That's according to the Secret Service. A bystander was shot during the gunfire exchange and was rushed to a nearby hospital in Syria.
Now, let me say this. Let me stop right there. Just for 1 second. Okay? Just for 1 second. My grandma always told me this. A half a truth is a lie. Okay? What he just did, the little wordsmith, little bullshit he just did, and I know y'all caught it. He says President Trump was there. However, but, right, he was out of harm's danger. In other words, whoever did this, the hug-a-thug shit that we're going to protect this guy, he wasn't after Trump. He wasn't in any danger. He was there because we have to say he's there because you can't flat out lie, but he wasn't in danger. That's the shit I'm talking about with these people, man. Okay? Hold on, something just happened here. Hey, Praetorian, thank you, sir. Praetorian just sent in 5,000 to me. I guess that's for me. Thank you, Praetorian. I'm not going to give this to any of the guys. And he says, thank you, Praetorian, so much, man. I appreciate that. And forgive me for blowing the script. This video, this might be longer than an hour today, guys. I'm just telling you that right now. Praetorian says, can't make the live. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Truth to work. Kind regards, Praetorian. Thank you so much, sir.
None of us have to work tomorrow. Just saying.
Okay. So I just wanted to point that out, guys.
Serious condition, we're told. It is unclear whether that person was struck by the gunman or a responding officer. No Secret Service personnel were injured during.
Let me make sure I heard that right. Let me just go back. Hold on.
Trump was there at the time, but was, quote, not impacted. That's according to the Secret Service. A bystander was shot during the gunfire exchange and was rushed to a nearby hospital in serious condition, we're told. It is unclear whether that person was struck by the gunman or a responding officer. No Secret Service personnel were injured during the shooting. Sources tell MS Now the suspect is identified as 21-year-old Nasir Best, who had previous encounters with the Secret Service last summer and was ordered to stay away from the White House. Sources say the gunman had a history of.
I'm trying to see what he looks like. Where's his picture? Where's the picture? I don't see it. Do y'all see it?
It's on Fox News.
Okay, let me give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're a little lagging. They might be lagging. Let's see.
Mental health issues. Multiple journalists working at the White House say the gunman.
Ding, 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 ding. Mental health issues, ladies and gentlemen. Not just saying he doesn't, but just check this out. No pictures and mental health, just in case you see it somewhere else, because they can't, listen, again, they can't hide the truth. When it's a big story like this, of course they have to cover it, right? But they have to cover stuff up like what the guy looks like and cover up for him. Let's listen to that again.
And had a history of mental health issues. Multiple journalists working at the White House Saturday reported hearing gunshots and were told to seek shelter inside the press briefing room. More than 24 shots were captured on video by ABC News as senior White House correspondent Selena Wang was doing a report.
That President Trump has said a deal is close, only for the two sides to remain far apart.
That's the story I was hearing about when this happened.
With us now, MS Now White House reporter Jake Traylor and MS Now law enforcement analyst.
Okay, guys, now listen, you're getting ready to go for a ride. I feel like I'm at the carnival or the theme park. You know how they tell you to buckle your seatbelts. It's going to spin a lot, and we're going to move around. You're going to spin a lot here. Okay, buckle up, get your freaking barf bag ready. You're going to be a little dizzy, but the spin is about to be crazy. Take a look.
And former U.S. Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger. Jake, I want to start with you. Thank you both for joining us. This is just a couple of weeks after the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What's going on in the White House? What are they saying? The president was there and immediately started turning to a refrain that we've heard from him many times.
Yeah, that's right. There's a sense right now, Eugene, inside the White House of resiliency, something we've seen before in similar situations, unfortunately, with this White House and with this president. But it is notable, as you mentioned, how quickly, in the president's first public reaction to the shooting that took place, his immediate pivot to the ballroom, saying that the national security of the country demands it. I will say, though, the White House...
Hold on, man. I'm sorry. I know I can't. They just shot the White House, and they may be trying to attempt to shoot the president. And what they go with is, oh, he immediately pivots to the ballroom. Look how evil this man is. Help me out here, guys. Am I seeing this wrong?
No, that's classic spin. The real question is, what is this guy looking at with the binoculars here? Like, what is he his supervisor? What is happening?
Oh my God. You can't make this shit up. And like I said, they're gonna the mental health issue because he's black. Right. And then, the one that really gets me, at least with this, is the guy who's reporting on this. He's wearing all white, got the fro going. He's
What's
looking
up
all
with the pennant on his chest there, like green thing.
Yeah, he's looking all Mickey Mouse. That's distraction enough for these people, at least with their IQ. But the thing is it's exactly what we said. And you guys, we're not deep dive analysis. We haven't gone to school for this. We're three guys talking our stuff, but we're calling it for what it is. And that's exactly what's happening. They're going to pivot. The thing is too, is that they prey on the weak, right? Because we know MS, DNC and MS Now, BS Now, and all this Chicken Noodle News Network and all these guys, the viewers are not, let's just say they lack an IQ level to be able to do their own research and to be able to seek beyond what people say. And so, it's just the typical story of the media, right? The propagandists just spoon feeding these people that, I don't know, the president, someone just shot at the White House, the most secure building in the world, just in case people didn't know. Right. And, it doesn't surprise us, I really have to just laugh at it because you can't get mad at it because it doesn't make any sense to, but it doesn't surprise me. This just laid it out right here.
Yeah, BS Now is doing what they do. They're just doing what they do, spitting out BS. Let's keep it going, guys. Put your boots on, guys, okay? Because the BS is going to be flowing.
Has had a couple go-rounds of instances like this. They have learned how to capitalize on the moment and how to make the most of these events that are obviously horrific and something no one wants to experience. Something I think a clear indicator of that is the Chief Communications Director, Stephen Chung, posting throughout the evening, President Trump still in the Oval Office working 8 p.m., 9 p.m., President Trump not stopping. And so they want to establish this sense of the president does not stop. He's going to work through this. This is also really notable.
Well, that's what he's doing. You're saying that like that's a bad thing. That's not them promoting it. That's what he's doing, right? They attacked the White House. This is the House of America. They attacked it, and you're telling them because he's still working there, and he's still trying to quote unquote take advantage of the opportunity instead of saying, man, sorry about the victims or sorry about, the guys getting shot in the Secret Service and all this other stuff. This is why TDS is a real thing. These people are the blame. What are we pointing
in the
at?
banner, man? He was working on the Iran deal. He was in the Situation Room.
Yeah. And to me personally, and I'm glad you brought that up, and YouTube, this is my
Good luck.
This is my personal opinion. This has nothing to do with BTC Backpacker, the Bitcoin Technician, or Truth of Work podcast. It's just me. I just think that when certain things happen during a certain time, because there's a certain group of people that do not, on the left and the right, that does not want this war to end, in my opinion. So for this to happen while he's in there working it, was that an accident? I don't know. But again, they're not going to say that.
One significant day because the president was in the Oval Office with his top aides and allies discussing and working to potentially hit a peace deal with Iran. So it came out.
Jor for the score. Suns out, guns out. Who's that? Who would that be? Jor, I'm trying my best not to rant over here, sir. Good to see you. We got 8. You make 8. Jor, we just had 7 and you make 8. Of course you do. Good to see you, my friend.
Interesting day where the president actually happened to be at the White House. He's typically at Mar-a-Lago or Bedminster, one of his weekend residences. So,
wow. He's usually at one of his weekend residences. Mar-a-Lago, he's usually not working. But now that he's working, they're going to say, well, he's just pretending to work. He's not really working because Joe Biden worked so hard when he was in the White House. I didn't hear a peep from these people talking about, man, it's hard for me to watch this shit, bro. Oh, well, if you're going to rant, don't mute yourself, Jerry. Did I just mute myself?
No.
Really notable day that the president was there. Resiliency inside the White House. It was a weekend, so a lot of those officials that we normally talk to weren't actually there. But again, a very quick pivot from President Trump to saying the ballroom and that security is necessary for something of this measure.
Yeah, his tweet or his two social posts. This event is 1 month removed from the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. It goes to show how important it is for all future presidents to get what will be the most safe and secure space of its kind ever built in Washington, D.C. The national security of our country demands it. I'm not exactly sure why he would be in the ballroom if there was a shooting a couple blocks from the White House, but I digress.
A whole different conversation. Tom, let's have you put on your hat as the...
I just got to say this. I just want to say this. I don't know if you can hear, if you notice this little zest in his voice, this guy right here, like you said, and then this guy right here, the zesty stuff, and then the other guy, the skinny white guy. I just want to know if we had a testosterone level check.
I was going to say that.
If we had one, do you think they'd be normal, low, high? What again, if you are a straight male in America with a normal testosterone level, you are a straight male. I don't care what color you are, and you love this country and you love God. Why would you be on this side? They're not, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, just saying. Just listen to the zestfully clean voices. These two.
I've been biting my mouth.
If there was a shooting
10 minutes
a couple blocks from the White.
Go ahead. What do you think?
Oh, we already went over it. You stole the thunder.
A whole different conversation. Tom, let's have you put on your hat as the former police chief of the U.S. Capitol. How would you assess the Secret Service's response and reaction to what happened yesterday?
Well, I think it went exactly as they plan, as they train. With this heightened environment, every protection agency, and in D.C., it's primarily the Secret Service, it's the Capitol Police for Congress, it's the U.S. Marshal Service for all the judges. They plan for these kinds of events.
By the way, I'm just in case I missed it. Did they show the picture of the guy yet? Just curious. No. Oh, okay. We're how many minutes in? We're 4 minutes and 21 seconds in, and they don't.
They also didn't mention what he used either.
Yeah, they don't mention the guy. They don't mention how guns are bad because they used to always tell us that those are bad. They don't tell us his color. They don't tell us what he looks like. Just and again, you got to be an idiot not to see this stuff, man. And